Hi, we're going to do a quick video showing you how to set up a email template. So first of all, you want to go to the menu, click on the menu that's labeled with your firm name. You see in the drop down there we now have messaging system. That'll bring you to this screen, and so long as you are a super user you'll see the template editor. Okay, so I have 4 templates set up here already. Just to quickly review what we can see here, subject, that's of course the subject of the email. Here we have the content of the actual message. The items in green and blue, they are the tags, so the actual data for those messages will be taken out of the glide system at the time that the message is composed. And over here we can click on edit. That will allow us to edit any of our existing templates, make changes, that sort of thing. You'll see a preview down here which you can update as you go. We can delete. You'll only be allowed to delete them if they are not in use, and a template, you know a template's in use when you see this kind of blue icon here, so that template's being used kind of once, and likewise this one. Okay, so let's have a look at making a new one. Just to explain, we've got two sections to the screen here. First of all, we've got job related messages. So these are messages that are triggered in relation to a job, so that's either on a workflow action, on an alert, or a bulk operation on the jobs report. Down the bottom we have client messages, and those are currently sent via a bulk operation on the client report screen. Okay, so on the job ones we have an option for every single workflow system that you currently have active. So I might do a VAT one. Where's VAT? There we go. So you just click the button. Let's do something fairly obvious. So we might do VAT submission reminder. Put that in the subject. That's what your client's going to see in the subject, and in the message we then type out the message. So the first thing to go through here is, what do you put after hi? How do you get the kind of client's name in here? It's just a couple of options here. So basically, most probably you want to use the recipient tags. The recipient tags are the first name, the surname, or the full name of the person receiving the email. And I'll do a separate video talking about how the glide system knows to pick out the correct person. Coming over to client, you'll see we have client name, and in the case of an individual that's probably the same data, but of course for a company, for a partnership, for an LLP, that is going to be the name of the client, the legal entity, so you wouldn't use that to address someone. So just to go, so just to clarify, I'm going to put the first name of the recipient there, perhaps have a comma, next line. So we'll just first of all, I'm just going to scan across all these data fields and just briefly mention what they are. So miscellaneous is just a few kind of miscellaneous ones, the date, kind of good morning, that sort of thing. Client, we've mentioned already client name. Manager and partner, that's basically giving you the first name and surname of the manager or the partner that's linked to the client at the time when the message is created. Recipient, we've said already, so client data, this will be all of the fields on the client card, so of course you can add extra fields, fully customizable fields as required. Job, you can pick up any key information about our job. We have the job date, so in this case that'll be the VAT period end, that quarter end, VAT month end, whatever it is. In an account system it'll be the year end, a payroll system, pay date, that sort of a thing. And then you'll have any deadlines. So here we just have the one. We can pick up all of our target dates. Important to put a bit of thought in here. So obviously target dates can be entered manually or they can be created automatically. I think most people have them creating automatically. And you just have to think, when are they being created and when is the message being sent? And obviously ensure that the creation of the target is going to happen before the sending of the message. We do have a little safety mechanism though. If a message is triggered and a tag is empty, it will be forced into the queue for kind of human review, but obviously nice to get that right first time. Same applies to the actual dates. Again, you'd want to only use these if you know the message is being triggered once they will have been completed. On a workflow action, you will know if there is an actual date because you just want to have the action in a later stage than the date you're picking up. But if you're doing an alert message, that's a message that's sent maybe 30 days before a deadline, it could be a bit trickier to know which stage you will be at. Job data is then the kind of custom job fields that you might well have on your job card. Just to look to the right here, we've got the usual sort of formatting options, so you can make your emails look nice. So let's just put in a message here. We're going to say this is just a reminder that the VAT return for the quarter ending, and then I'd want my job date. You see the kind of preview at the bottom here. This kind of updates whenever you add a tag. If you do some other changes, want to update the preview, you can click there. I'll show you why that's kind of handy in a moment. Just a reminder that the VAT return for the quarter ending is due to be submitted probably prior to the, then we'd want the job deadline. Perhaps we'll say, perhaps we've got this as a, only being triggered if it's not done, or maybe as a workflow action when we know the info's not in, so we could say something like, we would be grateful if you could submit your information by the, and perhaps here I'm going to have a target date, so maybe I know that on job creation I have a target set on books and records received, and I know that this is only be triggered if we've got that target date. And this is where it's helpful to have the preview, because the official tag here is 120. That's the kind of system code, but down here we can just double check what we've clicked on. We go through submit your information by the kind of date, so that we can complete the job in time. Please contact me if you have any queries. Kind regards, and then to make sure you get the right info here, potentially it could be some of your custom client data, but perhaps it's the client manager, client partner, so maybe have client manager first name, client manager surname, and we'll hit create on the template. So that's now down here. So that's creating templates. Separate videos are available. I'm trying to keep this one below kind of 10 minutes. Separate videos available for how you actually kind of trigger the sending, the creation and sending of these emails. So I think at this point we'll conclude this video. If you need any help with any of this, obviously just get in touch with the Glide team. Cheers.